YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in another Total War Warhammer 2 online battle. Do you ever wake up at night wondering if you're going to be assaulted by a crocodile who's come out of the river and chasing you with a giant mace? Well, probably not. But in the world of Warhammer, that is a real potential threat. And we have a cool army that you're going to get to see here today. This is going to be a Kroxigor Skink combo army with a high mage taking on Luther Harkon and his Vampire Coast. Let's check it out. Alright, here we are in the battle, and let's check out the units for both sides as we get started. I'll hit slow-mo so we don't miss anything. It's going to be a ton of skink cohorts, some of which have javelins, most of which, I should say, actually. So 5 skink cohorts across the front, and they're going to be combined very nicely with Kroxigors, who pack a lot of armor, good armor-piercing anti-infantry unit here. And you will be facing a fair amount of infantry from any Vampire Coast army. Now, do you need a lot of armor-piercing? Not necessarily for the infantry, but who knows? What if they bring some depth guard? Then yes. But this also gives you the ability as a secondary to do some damage to some of the large armored units that the coast can bring. And let's check out the other units in the army. We have a Slan Mage, which is a high lore, and I know one of the spells that has been brought is Tempest, and let's check the others. So Banishment is bound, Shield of the Old Ones, which is now damage resistance and leadership buff. Aura of Quetzal here, nice melee defense and armor boost, and that's for 25 seconds. And looks like a nice direct damage spell that comes on there. And then the other spells, Tempest, Hand of Glory, which buffs reload and melee attack, and then Apotheosis. So there are 4 skink skirmishers, not chameleon skinks, but skink skirmishers, and then 2 skink chiefs for a little aerial skirmishing. Very interesting army from the Lizardmen. I like it. I like it a lot. And let's see what the Vampire Coast has brought. 2 Fellbats here. Going to be used. That's an interesting pick. Good support, honestly, for Luther Harkon, giving him a chance to fight off, I don't know, it could tie down skirmishers, it can break up charges. Fellbats are not a bad pick in general. Probably not as needed versus the Lizardmen, but a good pick. And let's check out the infantry line. So we're going to see 2 polearm deck mob, 2 standard pirate zombie mobs, and then we're going to have the black spot gunners, and then some gunnery mob back here, and gunnery mob with hand cannons, which is just a high missile damage, no armor, well, not no armor piercing, but not high armor piercing. And there's a vampire fleet captain and a carronade as well. So the vampire is hoping to do some serious damage from a distance. They have a cannon that's good against large, which is the carronade, and they're going to have, well, not specifically large, but armored and would be better against large targets. And then we have Queen Bess, who is good against infantry targets. Queen Bess, however, can be dodged. If Queen Bess fires a shot, if you just move your unit to a different position, because what it's doing when it fires is it's tracking where you're moving to and firing a somewhat predictive shot. So if you wait for the cannon to fire and then change your unit's path, you can usually dodge the shot from Queen Bess. Whenever you end up in melee, though, Bess has a chance to land some deadly shots. But see, like right here, they stayed on the exact same path, and Queen Bess is able to land the shot. If you're able to change your pathing, not easy to do when you're trying to micro a lot of stuff, but that's one way you can avoid it, because the hits from Queen Bess hit your speed and charge speed. They're very, very painful to leadership because of the damage that gets dealt. So, and then I like here the skink skirmishers and chameleon skinks both. These are skink skirmishers, obviously, but they're very good at controlling aerial units because of the poison. Really slows down air units, and although they're not technically armor piercing in mass, they tend to do a lot of damage versus flyers, especially over time. The Fellbats are going to be used to tie down one of the skink chiefs. I like this choice. It's not a great cost engagement here. Look at the bloated corpse over here that was hiding in the woods waiting for his opportunity. Gets spotted. What a sneaky corpse he is. Now he's going to get shot up by the skink chief. Sneaky, sneaky corpse action. Tempest here being used to good effect because of the poison. See, he has a hard time escaping it. So very nice Tempest. Really like the pick there. The Slan Mage could be good against other lords too, not just Harkon, but he was definitely a good pick against Harkon. Queen Bess, he's got a few kills, but nothing too substantial yet. You can see here that the Kroxigor is able to break through the cheap zombie lines and get straight into the meat of this zombie army, which is the guns. This is where their damage has to be dealt. And the Kroxigor shutting down these hand cannons, other units, means that the damage that needs to be done isn't going to happen. And their armor at least gives them the ability to withstand some of this. Look at this, the faster moving Kroxigor straight into Queen Bess's crew. Really nice play with the Kroxigors, and then here comes the supporting Saurus warriors. And then the High Mage coming in right behind him. But check out this flank over here. The pirates trying to pull themselves back in. It looks like they've gotten pulled out of position and are now trying to fall back in, but the Kroxigors have pierced through all over the backlines here. Fell Bats back here chasing. Looks like the bloated corpse was dealt with. So good call there, sneaking. That was a sneaky bloated corpse. Look at this carronade back here firing. It's going to do some damage to these Kroxigors. But it also gets hit with the blood statuette. So not taking any damage though. So that spell, that spell was clearly not intended to do that type of damage. And then the banishment here looks like it started back here and then moved its way back. So let's check out the kills on that Slan Mage. Yeah, 79. He got some work done with that banishment. Another Tempest over here. Luther Harkon taking damage, but he's able to get away this time. The Skink Skirmishers moved around the flank, now poisoning the deckhand mob. Oh, look at that nice dodge on that Wind of Death. Well done. And that's going to take a huge amount of magic away from the Vampire Coast player. Let's get you all some sweet close-ups here. These Kroxigors just completely dismembering. Man, those guys are frightening. Just check it out. And then the High Mage back here just like sitting on his throne, commanding the battle with his magic. Very Slan of him. Gonna come in here and get a piece of Harkon. Steal our trinkets, will ya? Get out of my shrines. That's exactly what that Slan Mage is thinking right now. He's lucky that these Kroxigors are here, because one-on-one, that Slan Mage would not want anything to do with Luther Harkon. Not like that. Look at that. What a fight. Harkon going down. The remaining troops in trouble for the coast. Saurus warriors all over them. Regrouping Skinks. One of the chiefs got routed out here by the Bats. The Bats did nicely, but they've been out here the whole time trying to deal with that. Look, here comes these Skink Skirmishers just really putting the nail in the coffin here for Luther Harkon. Skink Skirmishers, definitely solid units. And then there is the damage resistance coming in for all the Lizardmen units. What a play here by the Lizardmen. What a play. And this was a tournament battle too. Such a cool army. I might have to try that one out for myself sometime. Really like that combination Kroxigor Skink army. Not something that people are always going to be expecting from the Lizardmen, and just look how effective it was here. And there's no offense to Gobbo Slayer by any means. I liked and he apparently had one other bloated corpse I didn't catch that picked up 56 kills. Interesting. I might actually go find that real quick and then give you all a quick clip of it, because I missed where he got those kills. I'll get that and splice it in here at the end, so stay tuned to see it. And then, yeah, just look how solid this pick was. I mean, the Vampire Coast just really not even hardly able to take 1 or 2 units out of the fight. The pick of Tempest, the Skirmishers for keeping Harkon at bay, the Kroxigors just plowing through the lines straight into the soft underbelly of the Vampire Coast army, which is all their guns that they rely on so heavily. They just did not have the stopping power to keep all these monstrous infantry out. And Queen Bess getting 117 kills, but that's the problem with this Skink army. It's hard to make Queen Bess worth it when this is what you're shooting at. Now, you can, if you can get a blob going and kill hundreds of them, which Queen Bess is absolutely capable of, but that's really the way you're going to have to make it pay off. And Queen Bess is an interesting pick, don't get me wrong. I think there's a time for it. It just didn't happen to be this battle in the end, so I understand what Gobbo Slayer might be trying to do with it. But in this case, it just didn't work out. Hey, great game to both players. I really enjoyed this one. Again, stay tuned for a second. I'll go find out when that bloated corpse exploded, and picked up 56 kills because I definitely want to see that. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more. I've got a ton more content coming for you. We've got a lot of fun coming up. There are some amazing campaigns and online battles coming up, so stay tuned. I will see you there. HeirofCarthage signing out.